Yeah, so a few things. Sometimes people truly believe, like, my life is awful and it's never going to get better. So in my therapy office, sometimes we can look for exceptions to the rule. Like, what's something good that happened today? Because after a while, you can train your brain to just always be on the lookout for the awful stuff, the proof that your life is awful. So we start looking for the exceptions. Yeah, well, somebody was nice to you yesterday, or you got a raise at work, whatever it is. Like, let's look for a few exceptions to the rule. And then sometimes it's all about asking for when people are really stuck in that place, it's about saying, well, what do you get out of believing that? Because sometimes when people dig in their heels and they think my life is awful, it's like a way of giving themselves permission to say, well, I don't have to do anything about it.
Hmm.
If I, nothing's ever going to work, so there's no sense in trying. And we know that when people are struggling with mental health issues, say depression and anxiety, it distorts your brain. It's hard to know which thoughts to believe and which ones not to. And just to differentiate, because sometimes people get confused, they think that mental strength and mental health are one and the same. So if you have depression, you're mentally weak. That's definitely not the case. And the best way to explain the difference is if we talked about physical health and physical strength. If you were going to the gym to get big muscles, then we know it might ward off some physical health issues. You might be less likely to get diabetes, but it doesn't mean you won't ever get an illness. You could still get sick. Mental strength and mental health is the same. Some of the strongest people I've ever met were battling depression and anxiety, but they were still making choices every day to grow mentally stronger. And so for people that just I don't want to build mental strength, sometimes we look at that. What's the pros and cons of staying stuck right where you are? Sometimes people are getting something out of it, like, well, my family waits on me when I
Right.
host a pity party, or nobody expects anything of me when I tell them that I'm in a dark place. So then, therefore, why would I do anything different? Or it's hard to say I'm going to pull myself out of this when you're afraid of what if I try my hardest and I don't feel better?